He is not only a poet, but somebody who nurtures poetry with his show Howl and his reading series. Nik is one of the mainstays in the Toronto scene. And this book here, Famous for Falling, is a collection of poems dedicated to famous people and how they fall from grace or even fall into death because of their fame. And I gotta say, there was a bit of a misunderstanding about this book. For years I was thinking, why hasn't Nik Beat approached me with a lyrical miracle project? Does the guy hate my guts? Does he hate my press? And then I find out that for years Nik has been thinking, why hasn't Luciano approached me with a lyrical miracle thing? Does he hate my guts? And it's almost like, you know, that grade 8 girl you had a crush on. And you meet her 40 years later and you find out she had a crush on you. And she still looks good, and you've been married to the wrong woman for 30 years. And it's a bad ending, but this has a good ending. We do marry, Nik and I, and create a child called Famous for Falling. Is that a great intro or what? All right.
Happy birthday.
Oh, yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. We're just going to do a tiny tinny sound check.
Did you do a tribute to Michael Berry?
Where do you get these ideas?
Sorry, we have an issue with the light there because it's shining in our eyes. The light is shining in our eyes.
Welcome to Hollywood. The hell of performance. It's the hell of performing again and again and again. We're condemned to perform endlessly. So this book is dedicated to those who faced the hell of performance and didn't come back. So these are poems for the famous, and poems for the falling, poems for those that lost their calling, wasted, soiled, vanquished. They did not realize, they did not feel ashamed. They never could see the end. They couldn't see through the game. It says that being a famous star just means more people don't know who you are. Thanks very much. Thank you. Thanks to Michael Rapp, who is my bass player. We just had one rehearsal, and it was really great of Mike to come. It's the way we always do it. It's the way we always do it. I do have to say, Luciano was totally right that I thought that he hated my guts. And I did hate your guts for a little while. But it was a misunderstanding. Obviously. Because we're here tonight, and I really want to thank Luciano. A round of applause for Luciano. Thank you. I do also have a special thanks, because I wouldn't have been part of this launch, and I wouldn't have had this book to give to Luch to put together because really the person that helped me put it together was Brenda Clues. Brenda, God bless you. God bless you. So thank you, Brenda, very, very much. And again, one other person who is not here is Brandon Pitts, who is in the United States, and just want to say, when Brandon sees this, Brandon, God bless you, I love you, and
He'll see you on YouTube tonight.
it's going to be on YouTube tonight, that's right. So we'll see what happens.
Hi, Brandon.
Okay, this is based on a song of mine called, what is it called anyway? I'm not sure. But we're going to use it as the basis for, oh yeah, it's called Love But Don't Fall. And my dear friend Laura LaRocque is here, and she's actually covered the song, and it sounds absolutely fantastic. But we're going to do it with a little bit of the song and then the poem in the middle, and you'll see why. Nothing but strife. You laugh at yourself as you realize you dug the hole in which you lie. Broken by booze, living by lies. You wanna go off and die. You can't face up to another day. You look in the mirror, you turn away. Don't fall. This morning I looked down. Am I missing a limb or maybe an arm? My stomach is gone. My heart can no longer forgive. My breasts are limp and weak and no longer give milk. My children and my children and my children are in the next room crying. And my stony masks my inner violence. I can no longer reach the sky nor finger the sun. I can no longer conjure a vision or in none. I'm so full of guilt, or is it remorse? For you see, I was hungry once and ate my fill in the garden and shared what I had. Am I to be punished for that? So here I am, silent, soulless, suspect as can be, falling eternally into the breeze, empty as Eve. In love. Thank you. In a poem. I had a beautiful Indian girlfriend many years ago named Marjorie, and I thought we had the greatest relationship. I just thought we were just swinging it and making love 4 times a day and just having a great time. We did make love 4 times a day, but I was younger then. And I thought, but the thing is, I thought she was with me the whole time. You think that the person's with you. And I found out the whole time she was seeing me, she was doing acid. So I wasn't half that funny, half that good in bed. So it was a bit of a downer. But this is called I Shared You. It's coupled with a song of mine called I Made a God Out of My Girlfriend. I made a God out of my girlfriend. I loved her so I made a God of her heart and body. Her body and soul, I made a God, everything she said and everything she did. I made a God out of the way she used to give me head. I made a God out of the way we used to walk down the hall. I made a God out of the way we used to have such a ball. I made a God of this and that and this. But you know, my friend, I'm in heavenly bliss, 'cause I believe in God. I believe in God. I believe in God. But I might change my mind tomorrow. I shared you, always I shared you. I never had you alone. I shared you with the acid you dropped, the magic mushrooms you swallowed, all these visions and more. I shared you with a bottle of bourbon, the hipsterish hangers-on in your kitchen, the spirits of the world that haunted you, then me, then we. The fanatic fans, lover mothers, drug dealers are always showing up at your place for another deal. I shared you with a grandmama who never listened. I shared you with one night when you were lost in a snowstorm. I shared you, always I shared you. I never had you alone. I shared you with 1,001 phantoms of your suspicions. I shared you with your dark demeanor, Mrs. Hyde. I shared you with my Mr. Hyde, his desires, his design. I shared you with the attacks of schoolmates of long ago. I shared you with the river Styx, from which you drank nightly, forgetful, to block out the air raid of 1,000 bombs dropped on your brain. I shared you with, well, you got that one. I shared you with 1,000 black angels dancing on the head of your pin. I shared you with fear that wore a low-cut red dress at the Mad Hatter's tea party. Always I shared you. I never had you alone. And now, I don't have you at all. I made a God out of my girlfriend. I made a God out of my girlfriend. Made a God out of my girlfriend. Very good, Michael. I'm just going to read from the book, because that's the first time I've seen it. The first time. You know what is a little funny though, is that I got all dressed up to look like a rock star, and now I got to fuck it up. Doesn't this look great? So, yeah. There's a number of people here that I won't name, but I've got to say thank you for so much for coming out. and sharing the whole night with all of us. All the poetry I'm hearing tonight has absolutely blown me away. And I've heard Norman Allen before, but Norman did like the best performance I've ever seen him do, and it was fantastic. And Donna and Lori were great. I'm very proud to be part of this night, and I'm not just doing a Las Vegas soft shoe routine. We're all great. And I really, really mean it, man. Excusez-moi. Yeah. The last page of On the Road, Kerouac says something that just blew me away. He says, "And don't you know that God is Pooh Bear?" And some of you may know Pooh Bear was in the A.A. Milne story with Christopher Robin. And one day Christopher Robin didn't really need Pooh Bear anymore. He sort of grew out of him. And so I called this poem God is Pooh Bear. When I was but a tuneful boy, I played with my mournful toy. My tome companion there was my fuzzy little friend, Pooh Bear. But something rank and odious still sank my song asunder and was killed. So I put my cuddly toy to box instead, and stealed back into my cold hard bed, and wondered and shed a tear at what it all meant. My best friend is gone, my little God is dead. This next a poem. Oh, thanks. Thank you. You do notice that unlike Norman Allen, I have not asked you to applaud towards the absolute end of this. And I'll leave it up to your imagination why I've done that. Yeah. I've got a couple more poems, and thank you very much, and thanks for buying the books, all our books. And thanks again to Luciano and Lyrical Miracle Press. It's my first book in 10 years. I'm not very prolific. I'm not prolific. And as you know, I spent many years wasting my time hating Luciano. So there you go. I wasted a lot of years. I used to hero worship Che Guevara. A lot of people still do. They wear his T-shirt and all this other stuff. And I found out that Che has a lot of the same blood as I do running in his veins. His father's name was Lynch, and he was actually of Irish nobility on his father's side. He always used to wear a hat, which I'll talk about. This is called Requiem for a Revolutionary. I used to admire Che, his Irish rebel beret with the gold star, his Latino bravado, his handsome demeanor. It is plainly easier to admire someone when they're good looking. Until one day I saw an old black and white film of Che announcing from a podium at the UN all the crimes of which he was happily guilty. I could clearly see him running out of myths and slogans and dreams before he finally ran out of words. Or were they just excuses? Oh. Thank you. One or two more and that's it. And thanks again. I visited a number of my friends, dear friends, including Marjorie actually, in psychiatric hospitals. I date a lot of crazy women. Not all of them are crazy. Maybe I'm crazy, but I visited, I don't know, it sounds terrible, doesn't it? I visited a number of hospitals. I did, so. But this is about the idea that insane asylums are what make you go insane. And it's called The Happy House, which is a lyric in a Susie and the Banshees song called The Happy House.
Yeah.
In this decorated hospice, the walls irritably peeling, it pain to be analyzed later. We live in the airy architecture of a mind that is not our own. Here, we hear the attic whispering. Here, the wind-up locks darken the corners. Ancient violence dyes the rug. Scenes are recorded and then erased, and recorded again. Fragments of eyes, noses, and ears are peering through the peephole. Footsteps at night die in the hallway. You see yourself constantly swinging and kicking above the dance floor. No more antiseptic distractions. And suddenly, some ghosts in white lab coats enter the room. And then you remember. You only see devils when you're in hell. Yeah, one more, and this is called The Ghost. Ouch. It's the first time I've been hit by a glass of water. It's interesting phenomenon. One night, Laura and I were at the Mod Club, and we saw a glass on its own go like this, and smash onto the floor. Like, I swear to God, that's the first time I've ever seen phenomena like that. And it's got nothing to do with the poem, by the way. Sorry about that, but it just fascinated me if there really are, if not ghosts and poltergeists, or some unknown entities that are around us, or a parallel universe which is overlapping sometimes onto our consciousness. This is called The Ghost. It's my last poem. Thank you for listening. I normally don't go this long, but I'm taking advantage of you, and the ego has landed. That's an old George Carlin line, by the way. I love George Carlin. There is an native Indian soldier named Ira Hayes. Most of you probably don't know who he was.
Yeah.
But oh, you do? Okay, because he's the guy that was one of the people that supposedly raised the flag of Iwo Jima. And this is for him. There's a couple of movies about him. One's The Flags of Our Fathers by Clint Eastwood, in which Adam Beach is just absolutely amazing as Ira Hayes. But there's an earlier film with Tony Curtis, which is just as good. And it's about his life story. But this is The Ghost. This is for him. This is for Ira Hayes. Hey, Chief. When you left your keeping place, you left your ghost darkly, fogged like some old Indian. Livening the barks he has just prayed to. The pretending moon and the steep portions of the stars. As I walked, you walked, folding your loving tenders beneath my quaking dear heart tonight. Unspoken, you never left me, and you put me to sleep. Only when my eyes were closed did I see your past amours and travails and fitful warms of skies. The brazier you lit beside me in your forest. Only in the quietest of this night, this forest, did I perceive that behind the drunken soldier, raising the flag, stood the native skin wet with tears. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Nick, for sharing your poems with us. That concludes a fairly, I think, an entertaining evening. I didn't know what to expect, and surprises all around. Anyways, let's thank our four authors. Lauren Carpenter, Norman Ireland, Donna Rosenbaum, and Nik Beat. And I'll be around for a little longer. You can still buy books. Thank you for coming.